we've welcomed in our intrepid reporter and award-winning journalist, Ishmael Johnson.
Oh.
Hello, Ishmael.
Oh, hello.
How
I
you doing?
didn't know I was award-winning. What did I get?
What did I get?
Dude, will you just go along with it?
No one would
No, 'cause I
know.
want my award.
Nobody would have...
Oh, hey. Okay.
We just... Look, clearly Vince doesn't want it.
Want it.
Right.
Yeah,
It's been 838 times
So.
we've asked him. Anyway,
I'm okay with
we brought Ishmael in here because we have a very, very important thing to do, and that is to bring back America's favorite segment, Free Money! Free Money!
Ish, please
Our
just shake your
college
head.
football picks against the
I
spread.
I tune it out.
Thank you.
That's fine.
God, this is why I love having Ish
is,
in here.
Hey, listen. Ish is lukewarm on free money.
That's very generous. That is very
Exactly.
generous.
It's our college football picks against the spread.
Finally.
I'll be honest. Look. This is the honesty corner. You guys have come to trust me
Ooh.
as your internet friend, right? You've come to trust me.
Have they?
Last week, rough week, not good.
Love to hear it.
Oh, yeah.
We
Two-
just love to
It's
hear
a
it.
good thing.
2-5.
Oh,
gosh.
beautiful.
It looks like we might have to stop this.
2-5.
Oh, my goodness.
2-5. 30, 17, and 3 on the year. Still 13 games above 500. But you know what? I'll be
This
honest.
is so good.
We need a bounce back. We need a bounce back here.
I mean,
I
we
love
could just
this.
not do it.
This
we-
has been my favorite intro to Free
We
Money
need
so
a
far.
bounce back, and I'm feeling good about a number of these picks this week. And so, let's start, Ashley, with the first game.
Let me pull it up here. God, that was a good intro to Free Money.
That was really
Iowa
good.
State at Texas Tech, 11 a.m. Saturday. Iowa State favored on the road by 7.
Which is a little bit weird, but I think that it's basically, I don't think they have figured out, I don't think Vegas has figured out that Iowa State's probably not that great. Is that weird to
Their
say?
offense is actually really solid.
Yeah.
Like, they're really
Mhm.
they're one of the top. I mean, they're honestly probably like top 20
Yeah.
in terms of efficiency.
Their offense is good,
Yeah.
and especially they when they throw, they push the ball down the field, which is going to be a problem for Tech.
Yeah.
Because they have been susceptible to the long pass play,
Mhm.
but they have a pretty balanced offense. But their defense is not very good.
Nope.
And I think that's a place where I think that Tech is going to be able to feast, especially if they're able to run the ball. They're able to run the ball. But here's the other thing, and this is why I'm taking Tech more than anything. Okay, this is why I'm taking Tech.
Okay.
I think they feel like they should have won last week.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
They're coming home,
Mm-hmm.
taking on an Iowa State team that I think is beatable, and I think I think being at home. I've said before on this show, I think Tech at home is a different animal than Tech on the road. I think Jet Duffy's finding his stride. I think this team is playing well. I like Tech +7. I could be talked into a Tech money line,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not going to because I don't have to. I'm going to go Tech +7 in this one. I think they're able to at least keep this thing close. Big test for the defense, but I think they're going to be able to come through.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, you want me to pick 2?
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
no,
I think
no.
Tech. Oh, you should wait till the next one. Okay.
Goodness.
I mean, like, Iowa State's offense is really, really efficient,
Mm-hmm.
but I think Shahan brought up a good point on Republic of Football. By the way, listen this week.
Yeah.
We also make picks. They haven't played anyone,
Yeah.
or they haven't looked good against anyone of significance.
Yeah, like what is like this is an honest question.
Yeah.
What is Iowa State's best result? Right now I'm pulling up their
It
schedule.
might be a loss.
Their
to
best
Baylor.
result is probably a loss to Baylor.
Yeah.
I mean, they looked pretty good in their win over TCU.
They
That's
did.
fair.
They
That's
did.
fair.
They looked
There you
really good against TCU,
Yeah.
but also TCU's defense is not looking as dominant as we've seen in the
Yeah.
past.
No.
I'm gonna go Tech to cover.
go. Okay.
So yeah,
Okay. Tech +7.
it's also
What's-
Lubbock in October. so.
Bingo, bango. What's next?
Up next, we have Houston traveling to Connecticut to take on the UConn Huskies, 11 a.m. on Saturday as well. Houston favored by 22 on the road.
Okay.
Don't watch this game.
Okay. Yeah, first and foremost, this is a bad game. This is a bad game, and you should feel bad if you watch this game.
It's really bad.
You're going to feel bad.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
This is not going to be good.
Yeah.
Don't watch this game. This game's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. I think we've now figured out that Houston's win over North Texas a couple of weeks ago was some combination of like a momentum, like a bounce back after a rough week, and North Texas not being as good as we thought they were.
Right.
I think we've now figured that out. I think
Yeah.
last week against Cincinnati kind of showed what they really are, which
It was
is
a comeback to reality moment.
it was,
Right.
which is a team that is a middle of the road AAC team. That's
Mhm.
what they are. Okay. I mean this as sincerely as possible. and I freely recognize what I'm saying as somebody who covers some of the other teams that are in this conversation. Okay? UConn is trash horse. They are so bad. Okay? They are not good at basically anything.
Mm-mm.
They are not a good offense.
Nope.
They are not a good. They are a horrifying defense. They are a very, very bad defense. They are 120. Let's just. I mean, if you just go on total offense,
Yeah.
okay. Offensively, they're 124th. Defensively, they're 125th. There are only 130 teams in the nation. The only thing that scares me a little bit is it is UConn. It's on the road and a big spread.
Sure.
22 is a lot. That's more than 3 touchdowns. Not to do math for you. That is a long. And what is the weather going to be like in East Hartford? Hartford CT
Probably
weather.
cold.
Probably. It is going to be 60.
That's okay.
But
I take it
but
back.
at kickoff, it looks like it's going to be about between 45 and 55.
So cold.
It's going to be cold. There's a long-standing rule in wagering. Don't ask bad teams to do good.
Yeah.
I'm not asking. I think this is easier than I'm making it.
Yeah.
I think Houston rolls, not only because I think Houston's not necessarily as bad as we feared, but probably not as good as we hoped, but also because UConn is so bad.
They're so bad. Yeah, Houston should cover. Even if you're a Houston fan, don't watch this game.
No, just don't. Guys.
Just check it on your phone. Go run some errands. Go do something with a
Spend some
husband
time
or
with your
wife.
family. Spend some time with your
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Catch up with family.
Gabriel J said, "I think Carthage Bulldogs can beat UConn."
UConn's bad.
I don't think that's a
and again,
bad
I
statement.
know that there are some programs that we cover in this state who
That
are
are
in
really
that
bad.
bottom 5
Yeah.
top conversation. UConn's really
UConn's also they're also unwatchably bad.
Oh, they're bad.
Like
oh,
there's
Yeah.
like some bad teams that we'll watch and it's like, they're doing stuff. Like
You
UConn,
know,
I
okay,
don't
here's the
care
weird thing.
about anything.
Rice is a bad team that I will watch.
Yeah.
Rice
fine.
is an entertaining.
You've been on the Rice train all season, though.
I am. But this is, I think Houston's going to have their way with them. I'm going with Houston. What's next?
All right, up next, we will go to the Big 12. TCU taking on Kansas State, 1:30 p.m. on Saturday. TCU favored on the road by 3.5.
So this is a big, a fantastic matchup of two teams that, if I were to describe them with an emoji, it would be the shrug emoji. Like,
Can you do that for us? There we go. Yeah, we need a demonstration.
who knows,
Yeah.
right? Kansas State has had times where they looked great, but at the same time, I think that we are really overrating that win they had over Mississippi State.
Oh, Mississippi State looks bad right now.
Yeah, I think we're starting to figure out that win feels better than it actually looks. Now TCU, you're right. You brought up a great point. Like, their defense has been okay, and like I think
It hasn't been what we're used to.
there are a lot of teams in the country who would kill to have a defense like this.
Sure.
But their defense is only pretty good. Okay, and when you're going up again, and in that case, whenever the way that you're playing offense is your offense is struggling like that. That is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Here is the key, and this is why I'm taking TCU on the road minus 3.5.
Okay.
TCU averaging 5.5 yards a carry. We can certainly argue as to where that number came from,
Right.
because they ran it up against some teams and have gone MIA on other teams, right? I think we all agree that if TCU is going to win the game, they have to run the ball.
Sure.
Right? A quarterback situation is just not good.
Yeah.
Right.
There's that. Kansas State's 124th in the nation in rushing defense. They are not a team that stops the run well. Their front seven, which is weird for a Kansas State team. But
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I know,
their
right?
front
No,
seven,
very different.
Their front seven just hasn't been all that good. As a result, that is to me the key to the game. TCU pounds the rock. They win this game. I'm going to take TCU minus 3.5.
And the one thing I will say is, like, I mean, Max Duggan didn't look terrible last time we saw him.
No.
He was fine.
He was
granted,
fine.
it was a lot of garbage time. It was I think they scored like 14 of their points in the last quarter. In the final quarter. But it's not going to be on his shoulders.
No.
Yeah, I agree. I think TCU covers, and I think they win outright. So, yeah.
What's next?
Up next, we have Temple at number 19 SMU, 2:30 p.m. on Saturday. SMU favored by 7.5 at home.
So you know how you can tell if somebody's a college football fraud fan? Is if they're like, Temple.
Right.
I'm going to roll over there. Guys, Temple's pretty good.
Don't sleep on him.
Temple ruined Shahan's travel schedule. He was going to go to that SMU Memphis game. He was going to try to go to that Memphis game, and now it doesn't matter. Like, this game matters more.
And it's not just that. Like, they've been pretty good all year long. And what's interesting about Temple is that nothing about them is particularly flashy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really have, I mean, God, who's their best offensive weapon? I mean, it's not a team that is particularly sexy, right? Their best offensive weapon is probably their quarterback, Anthony Russo, who's been pretty good.
Right.
Got a pretty decent running back in Ramon Davis as well. But they're not a sexy team. But what they do is they win on the margins really well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they win the turnover margin. They are a team that they force a lot of fumbles. They've picked off 6 passes this year. They've in fact or they picked off 4 passes this year. They force your hand a lot, and that is something they make you uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
This is a big gut check time. And beyond that, by the way, their defense is pretty good. Just overall, their defense is pretty good. This is the big question, though: is where is SMU's head at after what has happened in the last 2 weeks?
Right.
Which is really the last 2.5 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
which is everybody starts lavishing praise on them, and then they go out there and they nearly choke it away. Immediately.
Double
nearly
overtime.
choke it away. But they don't, and they win, and then they go to a bye week, and now they come home and play Temple.
Mm-hmm.
This one's tough to call. 7.5 makes me tense because I think if this were 6, I'd go with SMU. I'm going to trust the home field. Mm-hmm. I'm going to trust Ford Field. I'm going to go with SMU. I think SMU covers that, although if you can buy the hook and get that thing down to 7, I would do it. But anyway, I'm going to say SMU minus 7.5. I don't feel great about that, though.
I think I'm going to run with that as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. God, I just hope SMU isn't looking down the road to next week a little bit, because it's a banged up, or not banged up, but like it's a damaged Houston team, but it's still Thursday night national television.
Right.
Like that could, like if they win this game, that could be their coming out party to the rest of the country, saying like, hey, look, this SMU team is a legitimate contender for that New Year's Six Bowl. And I just hope.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know they know that Temple is one of the best teams in the AAC right now, but I don't know. Something tells me that I don't want them to be looking 1 week ahead to that in-state matchup.
That is the biggest thing for me. Is to me, if you're asking me who's the better team, SMU or Temple, SMU is the better team. If you're asking me who is, that the home field advantage, who's a favorite, obviously SMU. But there's just like all those other things swirling. It's just what makes me a little bit nervous.
And defense travels well always.
Defense travels.
Usually.
Their defense has been pretty good, and they're and I don't know. It'll be a really interesting matchup. I'm very interested in this one. What's next, Ashley?
Up next, heading back to the Big 12, number 18 Baylor at Oklahoma State, 3 p.m. on Saturday. OSU favored at home by 4.
Yeah, and talk about a ranked team, albeit on the road, but a ranked team that is an underdog is interesting. And again, part of this, I think, is that I don't know if Vegas knows what to do with Oklahoma State, because this is a team that has at times looked really, really good. And we know there's a lot of pieces I really like. I love Chuba Hubbard. Yep. I think we're obviously fans of Spencer Sanders around here. They can be very dangerous. But I also think that their defense is only okay. And I think that Baylor should be able to rip them up. A lot of this game comes down to whether or not Charlie Brewer plays well. And if they're able to, because if Charlie Brewer plays like he did for the first 3 quarters against Tech, they're going to lose. Yeah. Plain and simple. It's just they can't risk that.
Right. I think one of the things me and Sean were talking about was this isn't a game where Charlie Brewer can get away with throwing for 200 yards.
No, he's got to lead them.
Because whether Spencer Sanders turns the ball over or not, regardless, he's going to throw for 300 plus. And I don't know if Baylor's defense, especially now without
Clay Johnston, that makes me nervous too.
Huge.
Well, and that is, to me, you hit on one of the big things, which is that this game, I think, is largely going to be determined on whether or not Oklahoma State can run the ball. Baylor's run defense has been very good this year. Very good this year. They are also losing their best run stopper.
Yeah.
Clay Johnston is undoubtedly their best player in that linebacker core. That is going to be a huge, huge challenge for them. Oh man, this is really tough to call.
Rob S. said that Vegas is begging you to bet Baylor.
They really are, and I'm going to fall for it. I'm going to take Baylor +4. Maybe that makes me a State of Texas homer because I've only taken State of Texas teams so far. But I'm going to take Baylor +4. I don't feel good about it. Baylor's like Vegas is tempting me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to bite the apple.
I don't know if I'd take them outright, but I think Oklahoma State covers.
Okay.
All right.
Wait, you think Oklahoma State covers?
Yes.
Oh,
wait, sorry, they're favored.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I think Oklahoma State covers. I'll take them outright. And
Okay. And to win.
This Baylor team has been shaky, and I'm just something's waiting for them.
Something's waiting to happen.
Right.
This is one of those moments in a season that I think is important. It's wobbling.
Yeah.
Right. It's wobbling.
It's
They're
a turning
6-0.
point.
Granted, they played terribly last week and the week before. Not terribly, but they played pretty poorly last week. Brewer looks really bad. They still won. Granted, yes, we do know Tech fans. Yes,
we're aware.
It's very bad. That was very bad.
Save your tweets.
But Baylor's found a way to come out, pull some of these games out. I just feel
it's
like
a big road test
they've been
on this
teasing
one.
fate.
Yeah.
Very, very tempting with fate.
And this is, who are they?
And it's in Stillwater.
That's another thing.
Big 12 is littered with these random places where it's hard to play. Ames, Stillwater, Lubbock. Stillwater is one of those places.
Well,
is it at night? Is that night too?
3.
And here's the thing:
at 3?
this is only their second trip away from McLean Stadium.
Yeah.
And you look at their other two; they go to Rice.
Yeah.
Okay. And they, by the way, got dicey. And they go to Kansas State, and they win, but they pull away late.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Baylor. I don't feel good about it at all. This is my least confident pick.
I'm going Oklahoma State.
Okay. What's next, Ashley?
All right, up next, heading to some Conference USA matchup. Middle Tennessee at Apogee Stadium with North Texas, 3 p.m. on Saturday. UNT favored at home by 7.5.
Cool, Middle Tennessee.
I was going to say, you
said
one chance, and then it was done.
Last week.
Yeah.
I was going to take North Texas with their game last. Who did they play last week?
Southern Miss.
Southern Miss. I said no. I'm going to ride with North Texas. I'm going to ride one more time. Nope. Done.
Middle Tennessee covers. Yeah.
Middle Tennessee covers. I don't even need to look at this. And here's the funny thing: is I think Middle Tennessee's not all that great. Their offense is not very good. They are held in a lot of games. Really, I'm not even sure how. They're not all that good, but I have been burned too many times. I'm not going to put my hand on the stove again.
No, and two, I still don't know. Do y'all know if Trey Siggers is back yet?
From what I don't believe he is.
I don't. Yeah, and Mason was in the tent for half the time the last game, and the defensive backs look.
Yeah.
It was. I don't blame you.
Know how bad of a season Mason Fine's having right now. He is currently 107th in QBR in the nation.
It makes me very sad.
It's not all his fault, but he is not helping matters this year.
What's next, Ashley?
That one hurts my heart. Up next, another Conference USA. Rice at UTSA, 5 p.m. on Saturday. Rice, Greg Tepper's Rice Owls are favored to win by 4.5 on the road.
How bad of a shape is UTSA in? 0-6 Rice is favored on the road.
Okay, guys.
Tepper is so happy about this one.
Here's your fun fact.
We're going to the single camera.
The only thing about this that makes me happy is I love fun facts. You know that I have a deep love for fun facts.
Yeah.
Here's your fun fact for this game. This is the first time Rice has been favored on the road since 2015. Okay? 2015.
The
last time. Okay? Now, I think, honestly, it's a good line.
It's a great line.
I think it's a great line because... Yes, I think people are going to look at that and they're going to have the exact reaction you had.
0-6?
0-6 and you're
on
favored
the road?
On the road? But I think we've been talking a lot about how this is a better than their record indicates 0-6 Rice team, right? They are better than that. And furthermore, what is UTSA without Frank Harris, who now, by the way, is officially out for the year?
Yeah.
Like they have tried to turn into this power running team.
Mm-hmm.
They've tried to become that kind of squad. Going up against Rice, that honestly does a decent job of stopping the run. This is a team that I think I don't know. I'm really intrigued by this game. I know you said don't watch that Houston UConn game. I'm gonna watch the heck out of this game.
Oh, this game's gonna be great.
This game's gonna be fun. And here's the Rice's offense. We know how bad they are.
Mm-hmm.
But UTSA's defense is bad.
Oh, yeah.
And, by the way, you start saying, oh, well, boy, if Rice isn't running the ball, then how are they going to move the ball? Well, UTSA can't stop the run.
Yeah.
Okay? And then you look on the other side, and you're like, oh, boy, Rice's defense has not been all that good. Well, the one thing they do decently is stop the run, which is all UTSA is going to do. I think this is a really savvy line from Vegas. I think they've sniffed this game out. I'm going to take Rice. I think Rice goes on the road. I think they win this game.
We will not hear the end of this if they win this game.
But
you will be so excited
by 5 or so. I think they win this game. I don't have any faith in the UTSA offense right now. Like none. It hurts my heart.
Yeah.
But I just don't have any faith in them.
I definitely no. I'm taking Rice.
Man,
because here's the crazy thing. Does Frank Wilson last till Monday? That
is a big question.
If UTSA loses this game, it's their homecoming. Well, they are hosting 0-6 Rice on the road after one of the worst attended games last week against UAB.
Mm-hmm. If they lose, and by the way, A&M is next up on the road at A&M. Right. Bye week than that, and it is a bye week.
Yeah. And do you basically?
I wonder. Well,
here's that's what I'm looking at is like you look at that A&M game coming up. And
do you
rip obviously, but do you rip the Band-Aid off and just say, because that's basically a free pass to whoever is the coach, whether it's Frank Wilson or interim whoever. Do you rip the Band-Aid off if they lose this game and just say, yeah, deal with A&M, whatever? What's the rest?
Old Dominion.
What's the
Old Dominion,
Old
Southern
Dominion,
Miss, FAU, and La Tech. I mean, it's going to go bad from here on out.
Right. Do you just rip the Band-Aid off after this game, saying like, look, we need something because UTEP's off the schedule, right? They beat UTEP.
Right.
That's the quote unquote gimme win.
This is the danger zone, and especially if Rice walks in there, if they walk in there and they body them, like if they walk in there and if
it's 21-3,
they work them.
If it's 21-3,
yeah, I think he might be gone, which makes me sad because I like Frank Wilson a lot. What's next, Ashley?
Up next we have a Big 12 matchup.
We got Longhorn Network special.
Yeah, Kansas at number 15, Texas, 6 p.m. Saturday. Texas favored by 21 at DKR.
So everybody got really excited about Kansas, right?
Did they?
Because they were 2-0 at one point.
No,
were they? Or were they 2-1?
2-1. I think they were 2-1.
That's right.
Someone looked this up.
Everyone got really excited about them. And then we kind of got some more data on them, and we started going, they're just not all that good.
They beat Boston College.
They beat BC, and that's when everybody kind of got excited. Because didn't they beat them on the road?
Yes.
Like a road FBS.
Yeah.
Boy, Boston College.
Oof.
Yeah. Look, Kansas is not very good. The only thing that should hold you up in this game is whether or not Texas can cover the 21. And look, I've got some significant concerns about the Texas secondary, and Kansas's passing
DBU
and Kansas's passing game is not terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It's not awful. I have some concerns about that.
Yeah,
but I don't see how Kansas slows down Texas. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Is I think Texas is going to be able to score pretty regularly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to be a big help for them. I'm not going to overthink this. I'm going to take Texas minus 21.
No, don't overthink it. The only thing Texas should be worried about in this game is making sure that the glaring errors they showed against Oklahoma along the offensive line, along the secondary, aren't present in this game.
Yes. Play a clean game.
Yeah.
Play a clean game. That's the biggest thing. What's next, Ashley?
Up next, we'll head back to Conference USA. We've got UTEP heading down to Florida International in Miami, 6 o'clock p.m. on Saturday. FIU favored by 24 points at home.
Yeah, so
that's a big one.
Let's talk a little bit about Florida International. This is a team that is 3-3. They're coming off of back-to-back wins over very bad teams. You could make a real argument that they have not beaten a good team.
Mm-hmm.
They've beaten Charlotte, UMass, and New Hampshire. They got beat up by Tulane. They lost to Western Kentucky. They lost to Louisiana Tech. Well, here's the good news for them is that they're not playing a good team this week. They are a team that is, I would say, solid offensively.
Mm-hmm.
They're solid offensively. Most especially, they are a pretty decent running team. I don't know why I'm going on and on about this because they're playing UTEP.
Mm-hmm.
And God love you, UTEP. I'm rooting for you. Very, very much, but I think this is I think this is not only a team that's better than them, but I also think it's a bad matchup because they don't stop. UTEP does not stop the run very well. And by the way, the one weakness you could draw for FIU, or the biggest weakness, is that they are a team that does not stop the run. In fact, they stop the run about as badly as UTEP does.
Mm-hmm.
But UTEP can't run the ball. And it's like they can't move the ball, period. And that is a huge, huge concern. 24 is a lot, though.
Yeah,
it is a lot. Yeah. But it's not out of the realm.
Don't ask Bat to do good. I'm going to take FIU.
I'm taking UTEP to cover.
I love it. I love it. I support you. I hope you win.
They've lost one game by over 20.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Tech was the only team that beat them 30-3. Their other losses are Nevada 37-21, Southern Miss 31-13, UTSA 26-16. They have not gotten their butts kicked this year.
Okay, I'm gonna. You convinced me. I'm taking UTEP.
All right, we're making that an official pick.
By
the way,
I've got it. I'm taking UTEP officially. I'm taking UTEP.
And
if FIU,
right.
if FIU beats them
like
the best
troll ever.
If FIU beats them 60-3, I'm calling you.
Ish will
the final gun happens.
Ish will officially be my favorite person if that happens.
All right, finally,
head over to the SEC. Texas A&M at Ole Miss, 6:30 p.m. on Saturday. A&M favored on the road by 6.5.
So,
thoughts?
Yeah, I have some. Ole Miss is bad. Mm-hmm. Like, they're a bad SEC team. Now, there are a lot of being a bad SEC team makes you middle of the pack. They're going to finish like 6-6 or whatever.
Right.
The biggest thing that stands out to me about them is that for a team that has always prided itself on that land shark defense, dude, it seems like they get ripped apart in the passing game every single week.
That's thrown out the window. They're like, we just need to score.
Like, we
have one goal here.
We're just going to score. We're going to give up 30.
Their secondary is really bad.
They're really bad.
Yeah.
And so, for me, I don't know. I think that A&M is better than Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. Going on the road scares me a little bit, but I think they're better than them. The biggest question is, are they going to be able to protect Kellen Mond?
Sure.
So it's going to come down to this. This is a middling defensive front by SEC standards for Ole Miss. They don't do many splash plays. They don't get many splash plays, and that is going to be the thing. We haven't even mentioned the Ole Miss offense, which is fine. They're basically entirely relying on running the ball. If they're not running the ball, then they're just...
It's a Rich Rod offense.
It is. It is. So if they're not running the ball, and in fact, they were running out a pair of running backs or quarterbacks last week. They had like a freshman who was basically entirely a runner, and then the kind of their standard throwing guy. But they cannot throw the ball very well. They're going to need to run the ball. If you're A&M, you got to shore up that running game or the running defense. I'm going to trust the Aggies. I'm going to go with A&M minus 6.5 on the road at Ole Miss. I think they're able to cover that.
I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you one thing. A&M better win this game.
Boy.
Because look, because you have...
It gets real hot.
It gets real hot. You have Ole Miss this week. You have Mississippi State. Not great. Definitely should be favored in that game.
Better than Ole Miss, though.
Yeah.
Better than Ole Miss, but should win that game. UTSA, that's a win.
That's a win.
South Carolina, not as much
suddenly,
of a
game.
Not a pushover.
And then you win. Then you end the season at Georgia, at LSU.
I mean,
those are losses.
Those are two losses.
Losses. If one of them was at Kyle Field, maybe I'd give you a puncher's chance at making it a competitive game, but not on the road. Absolutely not on the road.
This is a big game.
This is a big game because then you're looking at, let's see, you have 3 wins.
It sets up that back half.
2, 3. Yeah, if you lose this game, you need Mississippi State, UTSA, South Carolina. You need to win those games
to get bowl eligible.
If you win this game, you maybe can drop one of those.
Yeah,
two.
if you win this game, this is
one of those 3.
This is Step likes to call it a buffer win.
Yeah.
When we're talking about high school playoff stuff, this would be a buffer win. To get bowl eligible.
And we thought this was a 7 to 8 win team, regardless.
And now we're thinking it's a 6 to 7 win team.
Right. And if they lose this game, there's a possibility it's a 5 win team.
This is the difference between a 6 and 7, like 6 and 7 in my mind. Sure. I think they win those other 3, but this is the difference between 6 and 7. Okay, so those are my free money picks. I like Texas Tech plus 7 at home against Iowa State. I like Houston minus 22 at Connecticut. I like TCU minus 3.5 at Kansas State. I like SMU minus 7.5 at home against Temple. I like Baylor plus 4 at Oklahoma State. I like Middle Tennessee plus 7.5 at North Texas. I like Rice minus 4.5 at UTSA. I like Texas minus 21 at home against Kansas. I like UTEP plus 24 at Florida International. Ishmael, and I like Texas A&M minus 6.5.
Oh man, I am hoping for that one.
I don't feel good about. Here's why I don't feel good about these picks suddenly. I picked almost entirely Texas teams, and I don't feel good about that.
Nope,
because we don't get nice things around here. Anyway, those are my free money picks.